Alright, so this is my favorite thing, like, in the whole game, actually, and I think it's worth learning. So you only need to be here at this specific bonfire. We're gonna run here and then skip here, basically. I don't even think the lineup's too specific. I usually just will line up from here and then jump here. I'll charge my horse, but immediately after that, so my compass is basically lined up where it is, just like one notch to bias to south from southwest. And I'm gonna jump, and then I'm gonna move my camera all the way pointing down, and then when my compass hits the edge of a specific, like, mountain or rock or whatever, I'm just gonna jump forward, like, diagonally up to the left. You'll see. And you will get death cam, like, almost all the time, unless you do it frame perfectly. But then, like, you're fine. So, the lineup I don't think is too specific, and I'm hopefully just gonna get this first try. Otherwise, I have to start all this shit all over again. So, we'll just jump in, jump with a spirit spring, camera all the way down, and once we hit the mountain, I just jump like that. You can also react to the camera change if you want. You can do that perfectly without getting death cam, and then you don't have to exit out here. I'm not quite sure I died. I think I could probably have lived. Maybe I landed on a rock and then fell from that rock. I've actually never died there before. And you see all the bloodstains here as well because of people trying to do this skip and failing, which is kind of funny. So we'll just wait for that and do this. There we go. But you just exit out to reset the cam, and then you're here in, like, no man's land. Again, I have no idea why they haven't patched this out, because it would be stupidly easy for them to do that. So you'll end up here, and you can still technically get stuck if you don't know what you're doing. This jump isn't really too hard. Yeah. And also, at different times of day, you actually can see what you're doing better here, but whatever. You drop down here. Drop down here. And then you want to drop down to that little notch there. And then you get off your horse. And then you can just drop down onto a rock. As long as you land on a rock, you won't die. Same for there. That's a lion guardian there. He will absolutely fuck you up. So you just want to immediately beeline to this portal. This is the safest way to go. And then you'll be where the putrid avatar is, basically. Immediately, I just get on my horse. I drink the flask if I have this thing that lets me survive one hit, which I took off anyway, briefly. And then just don't even go near any of those guys, and you'll be totally fine, because they can only really do a melee hit. So, now if you don't know where we are here. Before the dude cut me off. So just avoid getting hit. Avoid going too close to those guys, and you just will not die. And the nearest grace is at the liturgical town. So I just immediately go to rest here. Which you need this grace anyways if you want to go into the Halig tree, which I mentioned. When you do that, you run through the area, you kill Loretta, and then after that, you run through the area, and then before Melania is the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. So, by doing this, I have skipped this. This boss is a fucking nightmare. Out of everyone on RL1, I think, apart from Malekith, this is the biggest wall. That's like the 3v1. And the best way to do that fight is, like, you use, the Mikola charming things, but they're limited before you actually access this area, and then suddenly you get a recipe from Gideon to make them unlimited when this is like the only point that they're actually useful at, which is it's bullshit. But like if you try that fight and you fail enough times to run out of those, you're fucked. You can only get like 8 per playthrough unless you start with the branches, the bewitching branches as your starting gift, then you get like 13, but it's really pointless. Honestly, I think this skip is just so worth it. So yeah. this again, this is the only wall because the other half of the medallion is just like for free, basically, at the bottom of Leonia. And then yeah, once you're in this area, you have access to so much shit. You have access to infinite rhymed crystal bud, and you have access to the Halig tree. And then you also have the portal here to Moog's Palace, which also is the DLCs. And then you've got a bunch of other stuff. Even all of the rotten Gravekeeper stuff, you know, like the really cool, drippy, red cloak and stuff. You have that. You have a bunch of stuff in here that you can now access, which is really, really cool. And, like, in these low-level playthroughs, this is the end of the game for me, pretty much. I didn't even bother killing the Fire Giant or anyone else, because, apart from killing Malekith and getting the Erdtree Favor +2, and or the Crimson Medallion +2, this is, like, the strongest you can be. It's, like, the best shit you can get, pretty much. So, yeah, I pretty much just... My goal in all these low-level, low-upgrade playthroughs is to kill Morgott and do this skip, and then kill Loretta and grab the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, and I'm pretty much, like, done, because I can also farm infinite freezing pots, which is also part of the build.